Ms Roddick.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the Scottish Government how the Land Reform Scotland Bill will empower local communities and ensure that land is being used for their benefit.
Cabinet Secretary Marie Gougeon.
The Land Reform Bill sets out ambitious proposals to ensure that the benefits of land ownership and decisions about how it is owned, managed and used are more widely shared. Now, if passed, the bill will prohibit certain sales of over 1,000 hectares until ministers can consider the impact on the local community. And it will also introduce advance notice of sales, giving communities more opportunities to own land. It also introduces ministerial powers to place obligations on landowners to produce land management plans and to engage with local communities, allowing communities more say in how land in their area is used.
Emma Roddick.
The Cabinet Secretary is well aware that Scotland has one of the most concentrated patterns of land ownership in the world, so I am looking forward to seeing a bill passed which ensures local communities have a much greater say over how land around them is used. Can the Cabinet Secretary speak to how provisions in the bill about breaking up large land holdings and giving communities advance notice of certain sales will tackle rural depopulation, an issue which is still far too common in the Highlands and Islands?
Cabinet Secretary.
Emma Roddick raises some really important points in her question there, and I think I just want to highlight that as part of the proposals that we have in the bill, and in particular the transfer test, would actually pause sales of some of the large-scale land holdings to allow ministers to decide whether circumstances warrant the land holding being sold in lots if it is shown that that would then support community sustainability. So, as an example of that, by making more land available for housing, we know which is a key driver of depopulation. Now, the pre-notification provisions will ensure that communities are notified of any upcoming sales of land from large land holdings in their area, and that will then give them that better chance to make a right to buy application and then own land that can benefit their communities.
Supplementary, Brian Whittle.
Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. Given the Scottish Government's target for outcomes of agricultural production, climate change, biodiversity and people, I wonder if the Cabinet Secretary agrees with the LFU and the land reform agenda must shift from ownership to how the land is managed by those who own and rent it.
Cabinet Secretary.
I think that's where we have some key provisions in the bill that are looking to try and address some of those issues. And I think when you look at the second part of the bill and what we're trying to do through the reform and modernisation of tenancy and land for small landholders, I think they do have the potential to make a real positive impact. Now, the bill is, of course, currently working its way through the Scottish Parliament and is being scrutinised by the Net Zero Committee. So, of course, we're listening to all the views that are coming through that scrutiny, and I look forward to appearing in front of the committee to give my own evidence, which I believe will be next year. But I think it's really important at this phase we continue to listen to people, we continue to engage with stakeholders and ultimately see how we can improve and strengthen the legislation.